It is a blessed Friday, the 14th of April 2023, a day that we're here to inform you on what's happening in the country and beyond. Our reporters have been in different various parts of the country looking to see what's happening, and we're here to inform you on just about that. But first, let's take a look at the highlights. Moses Gitonga is on my left side, maybe on your right side of the screen. And welcome to the broadcast. My name is MUTEGI K. Martin. We're here to inform you in the next 1 hour. Later in this bulletin, we shall be talking about mother and baby, something that we all should be passionate about since it's the channel that we came into this world. We shall be having an interesting conversation with Dr. Peter to enable us to understand how exactly we should be able to take care of our babies before they are born and just after they're born in this particular bulletin. But first, let's see what is happening in the country and beyond. And SpaceX, an exploration technology company owned by US billionaire Elon Musk, on Friday, April 14th, failed to launch Kenya's Taifa 1 satellite, cancelling the exercise nearly 28 seconds before scheduled takeoff. This cancellation marked the third failed attempt to launch Taifa 1 after a 3-day delay caused by bad weather in Vandenberg Base, California. The launch that was initially to happen on Tuesday was pushed to Wednesday, April 12th at Vandenberg Air Force Base, but once again moved further by 2 days. The mission of Taifa 1 is to take imagery of the Kenyan landscape, and the data recorded will be used for decision support in sectors such as agriculture, food security, general environmental monitoring, defense, and security.
Stage separation confirmed. Dragon separate.
Stage 1 lock load complete.
Our goal with these missions is to provide small satellite operators competitive pricing, increased flight opportunities, and flexibility. We're flying some really cool payloads on this mission, including several different types of Earth observation spacecraft, collecting greenhouse gas emissions data, hyperspectral imaging, student research projects, and orbit-changing vehicles. It's pretty incredible how even the smallest satellites can make meaningful contributions to take care of planet Earth and our efforts to visit other worlds.
Now, President William Ruto has today commissioned the Mavoko Water Project that will supply water to 500,000 residents of Mavoko Township at the river Mlolongo and Syokimau. The president has also made promises to construct 100 more dams in a bid to tackle water shortage in Machakos County.
President William Ruto has finally launched the Mavoko Water Supply Project that is set to benefit 20,000 households in Mavoko, Athi River, Mlolongo and Syokimau. The project, which was initiated in November 2017, is worth 2.7 billion and is expected to increase the amount of water supplied to residents on a daily from 3,000 cubic meters to 12,000 cubic meters. The president, who was accompanied by the Machakos County Governor Wavinya Ndeti and other elected leaders, promised to work with all elected leaders as he announced plans to construct a county industrial park that is set to enhance business operations in the county.
Governor wenu tulisema na yeye, tukasema ni vizuri tuchenge county industrial park ambaye itawasaidia kwa mambo ya kilimo na pia tupange ajira ya hawa vijana. Na tulikubaliana shilingi milioni 100 nitatoa na yeye atapanga ile ingine. Lakini kwa sababu ameuliza na ameuliza mbele yenu, si ndio? Nitaongeza kutoka milioni 100 mpaka milioni 250. Kwa sababu tunataka kuweka mpango mzuri ambayo itasaidia wakulima wetu na vile vile tuweze kufanya value addition.
The president announced plans for construction of 40,000 housing units in the county, promising that the local youth will be contracted to provide the services and manpower needed for the project. He also announced that international investors are soon expected to invest in the Athi River Special Economic Zone with the prospects of another 25,000 employment opportunities for the locals.
Nimetangaza ya kwamba tutajenga dams, sio ndogo kama hii tuko nayo hapa, dams kubwa 100 tayari, na mimi nataka niwaambie dams 33 tayari tumeapprove, inaenda katika stage ya pili. Zile zingine tunazifanyia feasibility study kwa sababu tunataka kuondoa shida ya maji Kenya kwa kikamilifu.
According to the State House spokesperson, the project has created over 300 direct jobs. Also during the project, 40% of the contracts were tendered to local MSMEs. Yvonne Kemuma, KU TV.
The president has also assured citizens that he is ready to work with all leaders in changing the state of the economy and doing developments in the country. He has called upon the opposition leader Raila Odinga to call off demonstrations and wait for what selected representatives in the bipartisan talks shall deliver. We shall be giving you that story later, but let's see what happened also with the Deputy President Gachagua, who today met with security teams, elected leaders and religious leaders at the Nyeri County Commissioner's residence to address the issues of alcohol and substance abuse within the region. Gachagua says the government will not spare anyone found manufacturing illicit brews.
The war against alcohol in Mount Kenya region is taking shape. Today, Friday 14, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua met with leaders from the region where they held a multi-stakeholder forum in Nyeri to discuss the status and strategies of ending illicit brew and substance abuse. The second in command noted that indeed alcohol is a complex issue in the country, urging the Kenya Bureau of Standard Cabs to table the 42 licensed manufacturers of alcohol to the Inspector General for the purpose of fully eradicating illicit brew in central Kenya.
So Cabs, we want you to provide that list by Monday to the PS Interior to share with the IG so that we map those 42 establishments and their venues so that we can crack down on the rest immediately.
The DP noted that illicit brews have demolished the family structure, calling upon the leadership from Nyeri, Murang'a, Nyandarua, Kiambu and Kirinyaga counties to come together to diagnose what is ailing the region for a proper prescription.
Vijana wetu wameisha. Kwa kitanda, instead ya kulala kwa kitanda juu, wanalala chini. Wamama ndio wanalala juu peke yao. Ukienda shule zetu zote, the classrooms are empty. Hata hii magavana ECD mnashida mkiweka pesa is nonsense. There are no children. Because this ethanol inakuja ikiwa mixed, inamaliza all the systems kwa hii vijana wetu.
Interior Cabinet Secretary Kithure Kindiki on his part said the use of illicit brew as well as psychotropic substances and drugs is a threat to Kenya's future, highlighting that the state will wage war on the vice in the same way they have sustained war on banditry.
As part of the top 3 national security threats, we will support the national effort to tackle this problem with the same vigor, commitment, focus, and finality that we are continue to apply in the other 2 threats which I've identified, which is the fight against terror and the fight against bandits.
Ulevi kusema ukweli umezidi. We are not careful, we are going to lose our generation. We are not careful, tutakuwa na naibu raisi ambaye ni mulevi. We are not careful, tutakuwa na inspector generali anakuja hapa ni mulevi. Tutakuwa na CS wakati unakuja ambaye ni mulevi. Enough is enough.
The conference is set to come up with radical measures to eliminate illicit brews and drugs in the central region. Gachagua has assured that the forum is open to all stakeholders and that nobody will be victimized for speaking out and sharing information on anyone found manufacturing illicit brews. Anodida, KUTV.
Siaya Governor James Orengo has called upon the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua to adopt a reconciliatory language in his political speeches. The governor, says Kenya Kwanza must show its commitment to the proposed bipartisan talks by encouraging their leaders to talk in a language that will bring an enabling environment for progressive talks.
Siaya Governor James Orengo has downplayed Deputy Rigathi Gachagua on his sentiments with regards to the bipartisan approach. The Azimio stalwart applauded the move by Azimio Chief Raila Odinga to go back to the streets, his sentiments coming a day after Odinga announced his team will mount more pressure on the ruling government through holding demonstrations, even as the bipartisan talks continue.
In the Lake region, we support the Azimio movement. We support the position taken by Azimio.
Mazungumzo endelee. Mazungumzo endelee. Na maandamano sambamba. Dawe moto ni
Orengo says the dialogue between the opposition and the ruling government must be embraced in a framework that is meaningful to Kenyans.
Dialogue to be advanced and promoted, but within a framework that is structured and meaningful.
The Siaya boss also noted that Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has to adopt a reconciliatory language that would unite Kenyans in his political speeches. Orengo says Kenya Kwanza must show their commitment to the proposed bipartisan talks by encouraging their leaders to talk in a language that will bring an enabling environment.
I asked the Deputy President, so to speak, if he is what? To adopt a reconciliatory language.
During an iftar dinner on April 11th at KICC, Deputy Rigathi Gachagua noted that he was confident with the selected Kenya Kwanza team to engage in bipartisan talks under the leadership of Majority Leader Kimani Ichung'wah.
Mambo ya siasa hiyo wacha tufanye kule bunge. Kimani Ichung'wah is equal to the task. Asikize mambo ya hiyo watu amalizie huko. Kama anahitaji usaidizi wetu atatuambia. Sisi tufanye biashara, tulinde kila mtu, tulinde maisha ya Wakenya, tusaidie biashara. Ndio hii Kenya yetu ikae mzuri.
The opposition team has vowed to return to the anti-government weekly demonstrations soon as the holy period of Ramadan comes to an end, while the government insists that it won't allow destruction of property brought by Azimio demonstrations. Israel Omwai, KUTV, Nairobi.
We now take you to our previous story that I gave, where the President William Ruto assured citizens he's ready to work with all leaders in changing the state of the economy. He also called upon Raila Odinga to stop the demonstrations, I beg your pardon, and wait for engagements. Let's take a look.
President William Ruto has stressed on his plan to work with all leaders, regardless of their political backgrounds, to bring developments into the country. He has called upon ODM party leader Raila Odinga to call off demonstrations, which he has said caused destructions of property in the previous days. He has instead told the opposition to join him in planning development projects of the nation.
Na mimi nimesema niko tayari kufanya kazi na viongozi wote, tupange mambo ya maendeleo ya taifa letu la Kenya. Na mimi nataka niulize wale viongozi wengine, wawachane na mambo ya maandamano, waungane na sisi tupange mambo ya wananchi wa Kenya, kwa sababu maandamano haiwezi kusaidia mtu.
The head of state has alternatively told the opposition to wait for the response, which shall be delivered by the representatives whom both the government and the opposition side have appointed to represent them in the bipartisan talks. Ruto has said that it's time to focus on developments but not politics.
Hakuna haja ya kuharibu mali ya mwananchi. Hakuna haja ya kulete fujo. Hakuna haja ya kutupa mawe. Hakuna haja ya kuweka sufuria kwa kichwa. Sisi twende tuongee, tutatue ile maneno iko. Mimi nimetoa wabunge waende bunge, upande ule mwingine wametoa wabunge wao waende bunge, si wataenda kuzungumuza na ile watakubaliana, si ndio tutaenda mbele? Iko haja ya kuja kusumbua mwananchi?
Foreign Affairs Cabinet Secretary Alfred Mutua, on his part, said it has always remained a mystery for the opposition leader Raila Odinga to fund the government, saying that for this regime, it's no different.
Walisema huko Moi must go, Moi must go. Moi akamaliza sheria, akafanya kazi yake, akamaliza, akaenda nyumbani kupumzika. Wakakuja wakasema Kibaki must go, Kibaki must go. Kibaki akatawala, akamaliza, akastaafu. Wakasema Uhuru and Ruto must go, Uhuru must go. Uhuru akamaliza miaka 10, akaenda nyumbani. Sasa wanasema William Ruto must go. Wacha niwaambie, William Ruto atamaliza kazi yake, miaka yake yote, alafu Mungu atachagua kiongozi mwingine anayetaka endelee na Kenya.
Kenyans have been asked to remain calm as the engagements between the opposition and the government is being awaited for through their representatives to resolve their differences and restore calm in the country. Mutunga Joseph, KTV.
All right, we move on now. Self-proclaimed televangelist Paul Mackenzie of the Good News International Church in Malindi is on the detectives' radar once again after 4 of his followers died while 11 others rescued by police officers after the preacher stabbed them to death by forcing them to fast, claiming that dying while fasting will guarantee them direct entry to heaven. The preacher was arrested after police officers received information from the local residents of his dangerous doctrine.
Malindi Sub-County Criminal Investigation Officer Charles Kamau says that they raided the remote Shakahola village in Kilifi County as soon as they received reports from the resident in the area that some people were starving to death following an alleged forceful fasting from the controversial preacher Paul Mackenzie, known for brainwashing his followers.
So far, the information received is that the people there were being starved after being radicalized by a certain member of a church who told them that their work in this world is done and that they are waiting for, they should die and go and see their creator. So far, the information at hand is that there are more people who are believed to be in the bush, and we are still in the course of investigations.
Kamau says that the controversial preacher radicalized his followers by telling them that their death through fasting will guarantee them free entry to heaven and that they will die as heroes. He further adds that legal action will be taken against the survivors since they are committing an offense of attempting to commit suicide.
We are yet to decide on what to do with them. As you may be aware, is that attempting to commit suicide is an offense. The only offense that is an offense when attempted and is not an offense when committed is suicide. So if they attempted to commit suicide, they have already committed an offense. They may face charges.
This is not the first time for the self-proclaimed evangelist Paul Mackenzie, who is on the detectives' radar, is in the news for the dangerous doctrine that encourages his followers to starve themselves to death in order to go to heaven. He was arraigned to court last month and charged after 2 children died in similar circumstances. However, the magistrate freed him on a 10,000 police bond after dismissing an application to detain him. As Paul Mackenzie issue raises concern about the performance of self-proclaimed televangelist, leaders in Kilifi now want the preacher detained for life imprisonment for the deaths of his followers. James Moreke Mwenda, KUTV.
You're now in the know. We take a short break right here on KUTV Primetime News. We will be back with much more, including the conversation that I hinted before, mother and baby. You don't want to miss this particular discussion on breastfeeding and complementary feeding for a nursing mother. This on the other side of the break. Stay tuned.
What's up, fashionistas? Looking for a show that brings you the latest in the world of fashion, glamour, creativity, and style? Fashion Diaries got you started as we explore street fashion, modeling, runways, red carpet events, and so much more.
Catch me, Ashley and Sachi, as we unlock the greatest fashion events. Keep it locked.
What is this magic? I need that magic. Somebody call 911. Anything for your girl, give me more.
Nasema shughuli wagli, den den den.
Vivo Group, we deal with hardware and software development. Hardware, we do PCB design, that is based on IoT. So as an engineer, I have trained a couple of people. So this board is compatible with Arduino IDE. You can, it has the Arduino STM Arduino cores. This is a Blue Eagle. The difference with the other one is that this one has BLE, which is included in the ESP32.
The quickest way to raise autism awareness and end stigma is to show the world the amazing gifts, achievements, and talents of those on the spectrum and what they can do to add value to society when given the support they need in form of services, education, and acceptance. Mr. and Miss Autism Kenya 2023 aims at raising awareness of autism by providing a platform for those on the spectrum to showcase their talents and amuse the world. This year's events will take place at Sportsview Hotel Kasarani on Saturday the 15th of April 2023, and the entry is free. You can support us by becoming a partner. Call us on 0702 623359. Mr. and Miss Autism Kenya is proudly brought to you by Step Up for Autism and KUTV, powered by Ready Aiders Foundation.
Maelfu na maelfu ya wahamiaji wakiwa na watoto kutoka nchi za Amerika ya Kati wanaendelea kuwasili kwenye mpaka kati ya Marekani na Mexico.
But folks, I'm going. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Ni habari kutoka pembe zote duniani.
Pipopa si vuguvugu. Pipopa ni idea.
Tazidi ananyonya, hanyonyi vizuri, anakuwa hayuko comfortable.
Jeshi la Jamhuri ya Kidemokrasia ya Kongo linapambana na uasi wa ADF.
Kwa sasa wanatoa wito kwa mashirika, makampuni na vile vituo vya uchukuzi.
Mambo mengi yatakwenda kama yalivyopangwa.
Hapa ni kuna mmoja wa viongozi wa chama cha wavuvi katika eneo hili.
Zaidi tunajaribu kuwapa chanjo ili ina boost ama inanyanyua kinga ya mwili, ndio inaenda kupelekea kupambana na virusi.
Ni Duniani Leo, Jumatatu mpaka Ijumaa, moja kwa moja kutoka VOA Swahili, Washington DC.
Welcome to Children's Corner. Welcome to
Children's Corner.
Children's
Corner.
out there was mad for me.
You realize what just happened?
Don't stress. It's just rock and roll.
The police?
Is everything okay with Nami?
Geoffrey, I'm afraid I have some bad news. The investors decided to pull out of the deal, stating that your family scandal will make a mockery of their image.
Welcome back. Moses Gitonga and I are back, and we are joined by a very interesting man called Dr. Peter Carey, who will be joining us in a few. You're going to be seeing his face, who is a clinical nutritionist to talk about breastfeeding and complementary feeding for a nursing mother. Now, childbirth is very key and critical to our lives because apart from the first man and woman, the rest of us had to go through that particular process to be able to be alive and kicking at this particular age. And so we're going to be speaking on issues that relate to childbirth, but more specifically on how we take care of our baby nutritionally inside the uterus and then after birth. I'm sure Dr. Carey will be giving more professional language and jargon that will help you understand what exactly we are talking about. But we're here to talk about exactly that, breastfeeding and complementary feeding for nursing mother. We're going to be looking at a few things around that particular space, and Dr. Carey joins me today. He's a clinical nutritionist once again from Bellevue Hospital to talk about this particular wonderful topic. Dr. Carey, karibu sana.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Yeah.
How are you today?
Very fine.
Weather inakupeleka vizuri.
Kuna baridi sana. But tunang'ana.
Kabisa.
Yeah, sure.
All right, welcome to this particular conversation.
Thank you.
Let's get straight into it.
Sure.
Breastfeeding is something almost everyone has seen happen from time to time, because you see mothers breastfeeding their babies in the public. It's nothing to be shameful about. It's a wonder. That is nothing to be ashamed about. Where it's something that we have embraced in our societies worldwide, and people seem to know a lot about breastfeeding. People say they know a lot about breastfeeding. As a professional, what do you think people think about breastfeeding and what it is actually?
Thank you for that. In terms of people's view, they think breastfeeding is just a way and just an option of feeding your baby. But that's not the thing. Professionally or medical-wise, breastfeeding is basically feeding your child with milk from your breast. We call breast milk, it's like gold. So you're feeding your baby with gold. You're shaping the future for this baby.
All right. So now let's go deeper now, because you're a professional, and that's why you people are here in our society to help us understand what exactly breastfeeding now is. Let's get into it, and it's gold, as you've mentioned it.
Sure.
Tell us what happens when a baby takes in the gold. What happens to their system, and why is it necessary for those particular first few months of a baby's life to just have that as their meal?
Yeah, thank you for that. Well, first I would say the World Health Organization, it promotes and emphasizes on breastfeeding. It really encourages all pregnant mothers who have delivered to do exclusive breastfeeding. Exclusive breastfeeding basically means from birth up to 6 months of age. So this breastfeeding, it comes like a win-win. It's a win-win game for the mother, the baby, and also the community. So it has so many benefits. So even from the child's side, you find that this child is benefiting from things to do. You can avoid to do things with ear infection, there is obesity, there is allergies, there is so many things, decompressed immune system. It also helps to improve the baby's IQ system in later childhood. Also it helps the baby to gain the right weight, and also it promotes good health for this baby going on from at least those 6 months, during from breastfeeding to the 6 months. Breast milk contains all the necessary nutrients that the baby requires. It has proteins, it has fats, it has everything that you might think of giving your baby. So that is why we encourage breastfeeding from birth to 6 months. So away from the baby, apart from those few advantages, there are also advantages, so many advantages to the mother. One of them, it is time saving, in fact, and also money saving. It also encourages a good bond between the baby and the mother. It also promotes loss of weight for this mother, pregnancy weight. Also, to do with the hormones, it helps the body to produce the oxytocin hormone that helps the body to become to back its normal shape, and also it helps the mother to avoid issues to do with osteoporosis and obesity. So back to the community, you find that this is a well product that has been shaped from 6 months, from birth to 6 months. So coming back to now the 6 months feeding, this is already a child who is ready to feed the real food that you are feeding, but not just anyhowly, but because there is a protocol on how to introduce food to the baby. Yeah.
Amazing,
so
amazing.
That's why we say breastfeeding is like gold. It has so many benefits, and that's why we encourage the breastfeeding. Yes.
All right. When I think about breastfeeding myself, let me talk about myself now. I see, as you have said, I see a mother taking nutrients in form of food.
Yes.
And the body works on that particular, the digestive system and all those other systems work on the food, and that food is transferred to the baby, especially when the baby is inside.
Yes.
And of course, the same happens when the baby is born. The mother now is still the channel for the first 6 months, as you've said, it's still the channel of feeding. The child is now taking gold. What things should the mother eat so as to be able to produce pure gold, if I may call it?
Exactly. Thank you. So now, just to mention something back, for this mother, it helps her to produce the oxytocin hormone. The oxytocin hormone helps the uterus to go back to its pre-pregnancy shape. Yeah. So now to this nutritional side on what the mother is feeding, there are two things we consider. There is quality and quantity. They must go hand in hand. So for the quantity of this breast milk, we encourage on hot liquids. You can do porridge, you can do tea, you can do bone soup, all those liquids as far as they are warm. That is for quantity. Apart from that, nutrition, now the diet, the food you're eating, a well-balanced diet will play the same role. Will help you to produce quality and quantity breast milk. The most important thing is quality. You might produce little amount of breast milk, but of good quality. But if your diet is wrong, you might produce plenty breast milk, but without quality. All right. So the diet plays this role. We encourage a very well-balanced diet during this breastfeeding, a diet that comprises with a starch or a carbohydrate. This just gives you energy. But nowadays, our food industries, they have fortified foods with a number of vitamins. So the mother issue is getting some little grams of those specific vitamins with those carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are things to do with chapati, ugari, rice, the githeri in terms of maize, although that is starch. It's an energy-giving meal. If we come to the side of a protein is a bodybuilding meal, and it also gives some little energy. So for the protein side, we encourage both animal protein and the plant protein. The animal protein, we got the meat that is white, red, and also offals. We also encourage on either milk, you can do milk, and also you can take an egg, that's an animal protein. And also for the plant protein, the cereals, the legumes, beans, green grams, lentils, also the black beans, they help to produce enough breast milk.
Oh, I hear that. I hear the black beans.
That one people, they know it very, very well.
It's called njahe in the common language here in the country.
Yes.
Okay.
So apart from the protein side, we also need vitamins and minerals. So these vitamins and minerals, we are going to get plenty of them from our veggies and our fruits. Unless there is an underlying cause, maybe you had lost a lot of blood, or maybe you have ulcers, there's some vegetables that you'll be told not to take. But if that is not there, you can take all vegetables you can access, be it cabbage, be it spinach, be it sukuma wiki, the African vegetables, any of it. And then for fruits, all of them you can have, be it a citrus fruit or a sweet fruit. Then you ensure you're getting enough vitamins and the minerals. So you can feed a number of times in a day. We say small portions, but frequently. So don't stay hungry. Don't say that I won't eat. I'm suffering from a certain thing. So if you decide to do that, you're also affecting your baby nutrition. Yeah. So take small meals, well-balanced diet, that is enough for you. Small portions, but frequently.
All right.
Yes.
Okay, now I know you have dealt with many mothers at Bellevue Hospital where you work as a nutritionist, and there have been more challenges, I believe, above just knowing what to eat and what not to eat. What are the challenges of a breastfeeding mother? What challenges do they go through?
Sure. So we at Bellevue Hospital, we do get these challenges. So a challenge with breastfeeding comes, you might find the mother has an engorged breast, there is dry or cracked nipples, there is sore nipples.
You have to go slow on these
things.
Oh,
all right. Sure.
I am a layman, but viewers, most of them are laymen when it comes to medical terms.
Sure.
What's happening? What are you talking about? So that mothers who are nursing now can actually know how to even tackle these problems.
Sure. So these problems, challenges with breastfeeding, they all come on how you attach your child. So if you attach your child wrongly, and then I shall discuss on also the ABCs of breastfeeding. So to sort out these challenges, you have to know about the ABCs of breastfeeding. So these challenges are like the engorged breast. We have cracked nipples or sore nipples. We have mastitis. Mastitis is breast infection. The mother might also be having stress and wondering, am I having enough breast milk? Am I producing enough? Is the baby getting enough? Is the baby satisfied? And that is now where we say breastfeed on demand at any time. That's why you see even here in public, someone is seated just outside and is breastfeeding because it's allowed. Yeah, that is food. You're feeding your baby. There is no shamefulness to that. Yeah, so if you attach your baby wrongly, these challenges will surely come. And also hygiene will also affect. So if you have a poor hygiene, maybe on breast or something, maybe you might have too much milk that is just flowing when you're not breastfeeding. And the hygiene is poor, of course, when you decide to breastfeed, it will also affect the baby. So you're trying to compress the baby's immune system. And also, so with this, there's this thing we call ABCs of breastfeeding. You have to be, it's like knowing when the baby is ready to breastfeed. Yes.
Talk about that.
So the ABCs, the first one is like being alert, knowing the baby wants to feed. There are those signs that the baby will portray, like trying to reach to your breast, sucking their fingers. They produce a certain sound from the mouth, and then you can now know the baby wants to feed. Some others will cry. So don't wait for your baby to cry. Just feed as frequently as possible. And then you have to be patient. You have to be patient when you're feeding your baby. We encourage at least 10 to 20 minutes of feeding your baby every breast. 10 to 20 minutes, and that's done. Then you can breastfeed maybe after 2 or 3 hours. You can wake your baby up and you breastfeed. And then you have to be comfortable. When you're comfortable when breastfeeding, milk shall flow by itself. But if you're not comfortable and you are having stress, there is no breast milk. So you'll find mothers trying to supplement their babies, complaining I don't have milk. But these are the small challenges they are facing through. Yeah. So if you sort them out, then you'll get your breast milk.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. As we gear and as I move towards the end of this particular conversation, you have an event that is coming up, and I'm glad you've been able to gather around 70 mothers. That's a good milestone to
In fact, it's 80 mothers.
It's 80 mothers already.
Yeah, you have 80 mothers.
To be able to just give them that particular awareness and support that they need in this particular phase. Would you kindly turn to your camera and talk about that and see how we can actually help more women come on board?
Yeah, all right. Thank you for this chance. Yeah, I would like to invite all mothers, either during pregnancy or after delivery, with babies from 1 year up to 5 years of age. They can come to Bellevue Hospital, and we shall be having a health education day from 9 up to 1 p.m. You'll get education, nursing care, nutrition care, drug interaction, how to massage your babies. All that information shall be there. We need to equip you on good health for these babies. Why do you need to do breastfeeding? How do you do it? How are the attachment methods? What is the nutrition behind this? How do I need to introduce food to my baby? This is complementary feeding, weaning. Because if we do it wrong, later you'll find some challenges with your child. So with the Bellevue Hospital, South Sea Hospital, we are calling unto all mothers who are breastfeeding or with children below 5 years of age to come and join us on 24th and 25th of this month. It will be on a Monday and Tuesday from 9 a.m. up to 1 p.m. Then we shall have this education. Come with your neighbors, come with your friends. Let us get this information on good health and nutrition. Bellevue South Hospital shall also give you some accompaniments here and there. And surprisingly, we shall also be awarding mothers who have been doing exclusive breastfeeding. Also those who have been coming for clinics from 2 years going onwards to 5 years, where there is no vaccine being given, it's only nutritional checkups. So there shall be all that. So we want to welcome all the mothers out there, and also the fathers can come. Let us learn together. Let us take care of our children. Thank you very much.
All right, amazing. There's a question I promised to ask you. I'm just going to give you 1 minute.
All right.
There are those babies who are thrown away by their mothers, unfortunately, and and picked by children's home and well-wishers.
Yes.
These children don't have their biological mothers. What happens to them if because we need to have them as healthy as these other kids?
Sure.
What do we do about them?
Yeah, thank you for that.
Okay.
If the child has been thrown away by the mother, or let's say in a circumstance whereby the mother succumbed to death, and we are left, the community has been left with the baby.
Yes.
So we have two options. The first option, we can give cow milk, but this cow milk is not just given anyhow. It has to be well calculated. It has to be well diluted. And it is not encouraged, because most of the mothers outside there who are doing just home-based care of maybe children who are not theirs, they will not be able to do it. And also it comes with strict hygiene. You have to calculate how you are diluting this cow milk to know what is the baby getting in the right grams compared to that breastfeeding baby. So the other option is an option on supplementing the baby. We have baby infant formulas, so many of them. People know them. Things to do with NAN, we have Coven Gate, we have Lipton Meal, there are so many supplements outside there. But now every baby can react to a different type of formula. So you just need to know what formula to give your baby.
All right.
So if the mother is not there, they can come to the hospital and we can assess the situation.
Okay.
Then we can decide to supplement these babies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
What more is coming to my mind? Okay, I know my director will give me 1 more minute. There are those well-wishing mothers now in these particular situations who say, I want to suckle this young one, I want to breastfeed this young one, who is not my biological child. What happens in that situation?
We don't really encourage that.
Okay.
That's why we have those options. It's either on cow milk, well diluted, on a nutritional checkup to know what the baby is getting. And there's now that option of these formulas. I tend to find type of those mothers, they get to go to NGOs where they can get these free supplements of milk, and they are taught on how to dilute. And also, just to add on that, you might find maybe the mother is there, but does not have time to breastfeed. The mother is employed in a very strict company. And luckily to say, nowadays some of the companies are having secluded areas whereby the mother can go and breastfeed. That's a very big milestone we've done for our country to these breastfeeding mothers. So for such mothers probably who are going to work, they can express breast milk. And expressing this breast milk is not just expressing and storing it anyhow and feeding. There is how you need to store it if you have a fridge. There is also how you need to warm it. There is also how you need to feed to your baby. Hygiene matters a lot for the expressed breast milk. Yes.
Amazing. Thank you so much for coming through and having this discussion. I would love to hear your views much later, maybe next week when you talk about high schools, because we've seen unfortunate situations where in a number of high schools, people have died because of food poisoning, suspected cholera outbreak, but it has raised a number of questions about nutrition in high schools especially. And if you went to high school in Kenya, you know that's a topic that never ends. The paraffin, the big, huge cabbages and all that, and the unbalanced diet. Maybe that's a conversation we need to have very soon. It's good to have you having this conversation today.
Thank you very much.
And I wish you the very best.
Thank you very much, sir.
All right. That you want to say something else?
No, I'm good.
All right.
Just reminding them to come for the activity.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate. So that's Dr. Peter Carrier, who is clinical nutritionist at Bellevue Hospital, talking to us about this very interesting conversation on breastfeeding and complementary feeding of nursing mothers especially. We take a short break. We'll be right back with amazing stories ahead, and of course we are continuing to inform you on what's happening in the country and beyond. We'll be back in just for a bit. Don't go anywhere.
The quickest way to raise autism awareness and end stigma is to show the world the amazing gifts, achievements, and talents of those on the spectrum and what they can do to add value to society when given the support they need in form of services, education, and acceptance. Mr. and Miss Autism Kenya 2023 aims at raising awareness of autism by providing a platform for those on the spectrum to showcase their talents and amuse the world. This year's events will take place at Sportsview Hotel Kasarani on Saturday the 15th of April 2023, and the entry is free. You can support us by becoming a partner. Call us on 0702 623359. Mr. and Miss Autism Kenya is proudly brought to you by Step Up for Autism and KUTV, powered by Ready Aiders Foundation.
Kipindi hewani ni mitindo ya kipwani na niko pwani, niko Jomvu. Leo tutakuwa tunafanya maandalizi, yani inaitwa ni viungo, yani watoto watakuwa wanahusika kwenye kipindi hiki, watoto wa Uswahilini.
Leo tunatengeneza chungu kutumia mbinu ya kuviringa. Baada ya kubiringisha, unachukua hii ambayo imebiringishwa, unachanganya hapa juu.
Welcome to Children's Corner. Welcome to
Children's Corner.
Children's
Corner.
We're glad that you're still tuned to KUTV Primetime News. We are back to give you more information. Move to Migori County, where the government of the county has affirmed that it will foot the bills of 11 people that perished during a fatal road accident in Migori town. The accident occurred on April 7th when a lorry on transit from Nairobi to Isebania, ferrying rice, lost control and rammed into parked motorbikes and vehicles in downtown Migori, killing 7 people on the spot.
Following the accident that occurred on 7th of April in Migori County, Migori Deputy Governor Dr. Joseph Mahiri affirmed that the county has already set aside 1 million Kenyan shillings to help bereaved families to meet funeral expenses. The cash will help to foot the hospital and mortuary bills, buy coffins and hearse services. Dr. Mahiri also promised to foot the bills of the 7 individuals that are still nursing serious injuries at the Migori County Referral Hospital and announced that the county will host a joint memorial service on 19th of April at Migori Stadium for the interdenominational mass to the bereaved families.
As we are going to take care of the hospital and mortuary fees, we're going to take care of the coffin and the hearse for the families. The service is going to be held on next week, that's 19th, between 8 and 10 a.m.
To prevent any future accidents in the Migori Central Business District, Dr. Mahiri acknowledged that the county will hatch a plan to reroute commercial trucks to use the newly constructed Kakrau number bypass instead of passing through the town. He explained that the county has already started to engage the Kenya National Highway Authority on how best to control the speed within Migori town.
Our intention to clear the highway as soon as possible, and also we are engaging how we can also use the pipers with the heavy vehicles, and also engage Kenya how do we control the speed within Migori town. Is either going to arrest pumps or so work with the traffic police, how do we control the speed within that town.
Samuel Alan, the evangelist at St. John's Anglican Church of Kenya, said that there will be a requiem mass where various churches will conduct prayers for the families before they are released for burial arrangements. Kadari Chari reporting for KU TV.
From Migori, we move to Siaya County, where Governor James Orengo has officiated the opening of multi-million shilling rice mill in Usonga. The objective of the mill is to boost production of rice in the county. Orengo says that it will take about 3 months to construct the building and another 1 to erect the mill into the building. The mill, together with the construction, costs a total of 65 million Kenyan shillings. Here is that story produced by Mombi Veronica.
Rice production in Siaya County is expected to rise as the county government has put up a multi-million rice mill in the region. The opening of the project was officiated by the county governor, James Orengo.
But in terms of scale, this rice mill is a beacon showing where we want to go. We also want to improve the stores. You saw those stores that were built previously. We want to improve the floors, turn them into terrazzo. We're going to do capacity building, training with the cooperative society so that they can be able to manage the mill the way it should.
The construction of the building will cost 15 million and the mill will cost 50 million, which amounts to 65 million Kenyan shillings. It is expected to take a period of 3 months to construct the building and 1 month to install the rice mill.
It's going to take about 2 to 3 months. In that period, the mill that has been procured will be in place within those 3 months. And we'll need another month or so to now erect the mill into the building.
The county boss says that everything out of the rice mill will be turned into 100% byproducts. The husk and brown rice will be used to make chicken and animal feeds.
Going to that project. And I'm grateful to the county assembly that in dealing with the supplementary bill, the supplementary appropriation bill and the supplementary budget, they were reasonable with us to see the need of bringing this rice mill.
The rice will be packaged from as low as 1 kg, 2 kgs and 3 kgs, but there will be bags to package it from 20 to 100 kgs. As at now, Usonga rice is produced in 100 acres of land. Orengo also mentioned that they want to improve the rice stores by converting the floors into terrazzos. The society will be trained so that they can manage the mill the way it should.
Well, thank you for staying tuned, and now we get sporty, where the government has committed to working with the Safari Rally Organizing Committee in delivering a successful World Safari Rally Championship, WRC, slated for 23rd to 26th June this year in Nairobi and Naivasha. Sports Principal Secretary Jonathan Mweke affirmed government commitment to partner with the Event Secretariat and sporting arm to exceed the level of success which has been recorded in the last 2 editions of the Safari Rally. Safari Rally Kenya remains one of the world's rally championship calendar until 2026 after a 3-year extension to the current contract that was signed in Monaco in January last year. We move over to tennis, where world number 1 Novak Djokovic crashed out of the Monte Carlo Masters after losing to Italy's Lorenzo Musetti 4-6, 7-5, 6-4. Museti's reward for a career first victory over the Serbian is a quarter-final showdown against Yannick Sinner, who beat Poland's Hubert Hurkacz earlier on Thursday. And now into the Europa League, where Manchester United blew a 2-goal lead as late own goals from United's captain Harry Maguire and Tyrell Malacia handed Sevilla a lifeline after a 2-2 draw in the first leg of the Europa League quarter-final clash at Old Trafford. A brace from Marcel Sabitzer put the Red Devils ahead before a comeback from Sevilla in the dying minutes of the match. In other matches played in the Europa League, Juventus registered a 1-0 win against Portuguese side Sporting Lisbon.